everyone, it's Evie here, and today I am going to try to attempt to create a YouTube hashtag or a VR hashtag for YouTube. Yes, it's my first one. I'm hoping people will respond to it because this is a question that I get I don't get it quite often, but I feel like it comes in these prompts very often. These YouTube prompts or these hashtag prompts or these question prompts that we love to do and share around quite often. And we always give the same response in every video. We give the same response. It's like, ha! I have to do a separate video on it because I would be spending hours just trying to do what would make the perfect deck, or what do I need in a deck to make it a deck that I would buy, basically. Talk about which cards are important to them and for that particular deck or when you're buying a deck. So I get that every time I watch a video and I'm like, oh, somebody's actually going to tell me. I'm like, yeah, I'm the same way. I'm just the same way. That unless somebody made a hashtag or somebody made a prompt, you're just not gonna talk about it in a video unless somebody's passing it around. So here I go. Okay, let's just skip the intro and just get into which cards and what are important to me when I'm buying a deck, or what do I look for when I'm buying in a deck. Well, maybe I should have just said that in the first minute of the video. Oh well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, I'm just gonna dive right into the cards. I have two decks that I'm gonna show and tell today, and I have the Inner Hues Lumina Tarot and the Wild Unknown First Edition Tarot deck, because they were the two that I had downstairs that were in order, so I could pick out some of the major cards. I do look for other cards too, don't get me wrong. If I see one card that is like or something like that, I would totally be that way as well. But there were the major cards and the major things that I do look for in a tarot deck when I go ahead and buy a tarot deck. Okay, first one is the Fool card. I know this is kind of funny and ironic that I would be looking for a Fool card when I go ahead and look through a tarot deck or see a walkthrough of a tarot deck, because the Fool card to me is the most iconic of all the cards in the tarot deck. When you're going through the major arcanas, you're going through the even the minors, this is the card. This is the thing you look for to start it all. It's the beginning of everything. So this is the card that I do look for in a tarot deck when I go ahead and purchase a tarot deck. My second card would be my astrological card, which is the Emperor card. And this one is a hard one for me because I do give a lot of grace and ease when the art of the Emperor is terrible in a tarot deck, because I don't resonate with most people's depictions of the artwork of the Emperor card. I really love the Wild Unknown because she just did the Empress card and the Emperor card matching trees. The Empress is representing like night and the feminine moon of night with a tree, white silhouette, and the Wild Unknown's Emperor has the sun in the tree here. That's kind of a more masculine energy symbolizing day. So this is one of my more favorite depictions of the Emperor card. Now this one, the Lumina Tarot, is not my favorite. I'm just going to say straight up that I don't get I probably should read the guidebook. I don't get the symbolism of the pine cones here and the pine trees, and I'm not too crazy about his face and his overall appearance. And he's kind of dressed kind of funny. Kind of a dweeb. Dweeb. And this is another card that I look for when I go ahead and buy a tarot deck, but this is one that I think most people look for when they buy a tarot deck, is the Hermit card. I just do love the Wild Unknown because he's so cute. Come on, guys. He's so adorable as the Hermit card. And I'm not so crazy about her as a Hermit card, actually, believe it or not. I don't really get Hermit when I see this card, and that's one thing about the Lumina too that I really appreciate in the Wild Unknown. But this is the tag that I'm starting, so this is what I'm going to talk about when I go ahead and go through the cards. I think another card that a lot of people do look for when they do purchase a tarot deck is the Hangman, and I really actually do love both of these Hangmans in both of these decks for a different reason. I love the little bat. He's adorable. Even when I first saw the images of the Wild Unknown and I saw the bat, it just was like, cute little flying fox. He's so adorable. It was so witty and so clever that you would choose a flying fox or a bat for a Hangman, and I really do love this one. I know he's holding a bat too, and there's a lot of controversy that when this deck came out, that they were kind of copycatting the Wild Unknown because their styles were somewhat similar. They were not the same artwork. Don't get me wrong, they're not the same artwork, but the styles were a little bit on the similar side. Too much on the similar side for some people's liking when it first came out around the same time. But this is, I think, the second edition of this deck, so it's not... I think some of the images have changed from the first edition to the second edition of the Lumina. I just haven't really paid too much attention. Just a few cards, which I will mention here in a second. But the Hangman for the Lumina Tarot is just absolutely cool. I like him. I love him holding the bat, and I love the infinity symbol as well as that Kabbalah tree there. I just really, really love it. I do not agree with Neptune being associated with the Hangman, but that's just me being snooty. I do have a little bit of snootiness sometimes to my tarot decks, and sometimes I'm ashamed of it, or sometimes I'm not. Another card I think everybody's looked for this too in a tarot deck is a good kick-ass death card. I really love the Wild Unknown's death, being a dead bird and things like that, and I really dig the death card in the Lumina Tarot as well. And I don't know how else to say. I love death. I love death. Death is one of my favorite cards in all of the tarot decks, and some of them I love just because I think people get so creative with their depiction of death. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch people's interpretations of some of these cards. Alright, and another card is the Moon card. Artistically speaking, I look for the Moon card. I don't necessarily look for the Moon card as far as meaning goes in the images. I kind of look for more of the artistic depiction of the Moon card, and I really love the Wild Unknown with the trees and the moon there. I'm not so much digging the Moon card and don't quite get the Moon card when I see this in the Lumina Tarot, but artistically speaking, I look for the Moon card, and it would be kind of a bonus when I do look for certain energies or the moon energies in a deck, but not getting that from the Lumina Tarot so much, but it's usually a card that I look to when I go do a deck walkthrough. Another one, but this is more for client purposes, not necessarily me purposes, but it's for client purposes, is the Two of Cups. I really like a good Two of Cups when I do a client reading or a reading with other people in general. I look for a very good Two of Cups, something that kind of symbolizes unity, two people coming together, a little bit more seriously than just There's certain cards that I do look for clients with client readings as well. And this is one of them, because I do find that the Two of Cups meanings that very powerful union, that very powerful intimacy. Lover's card is more of choice, I think. It's not true love. I think when I look for a card for true love, I usually look for the Two of Cups. And where is that true love? Where is that Two of Cups lying in the grand scheme of things in your tarot scope or your tarot deck? And so that's what I also look for in a tarot deck. And I'm sorry, my nose is itching today because I'm talking. Another card that I have been looking for before, but now I'm going to be looking for again when I go into this hashtag your head, and this is probably going to be a video prompt that I'm going to do right after this video, is talk about my hashtag your head video. And I got the Five of Cups again for my year card. I think for as long as we've been doing these hashtag your head videos, I don't think anybody has really got a repeat card for their year head twice. At least it wasn't 2 years in a row, and I'm going to give myself credit for that. Last year this is going to be my third year doing hashtag your head. Oh my goodness, it's a party, whoop whoop, whoop whoop. Okay, so before I get too dragged down in this video, but the hashtag your head, I could do a quick briefie, but I'm going to do it more. But I had it for 2016, which is the Five of Cups. This last year I had the Queen of Earth, or the Queen of Coins, and now this year again for 2018 I have the Five of Cups again. It's going to start becoming my card here in a little bit. Whereas I just talked about the Two of Cups symbolizing union between two people and true love, I look for the Six of Cups and people's tarotscapes when I look for almost a platonic love. But not just any kind of platonic love, too. But a platonic love that could have happened for years. Or something that happened for years. A long-lasting love would be for the Six of Cups when I'm reading Rider-Waite Smith. When I'm reading for the Marseille system, I don't really decipher it this way. But when I do my Rider-Waite Smith meetings and I do Rider-Waite Smith cards or whatevers, and I look for a long-lasting love, or a long love that has happened for almost as long as childhood, or something that has just been there for, or platonic love that has just been there for many, 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 many years, and you had a history. It basically something meaning you had an affair of the heart, or a relationship of the heart that has a backstory, that has a history behind it. It's kind of like that, one of the cards in the tarot deck that is like that flashback of your childhood, that flashback of history. It's like that picture, and let's go back in time and review what kind of affairs of the heart that you had way back when, or childhood friends that you had way back when, or something meaning something old way back when. You know, that person way back when that meant something to you. And that's kind of what I look for in the Six of Cups. So, and it's an important card when I do client readings again. Alright, and this one is a personal card. Why I would pick the Son of Cups or the Knight of Cups. I don't usually use too many of the court cards or anything like that for meaning specific people or specific things, but I have them here and waiting to be talked about. But this one is kind of personal. If you've listened to me talk about the Jade Shadows Tarot and why I chose the image that I did for the Jade Shadows Tarot, then you would know the reason why I would the Knight of Cups is important for me, but I'm not going to get into that right now, just for the sake of time in this video. Another one that I look for sometimes is Three of Wands. What are you putting your energy into? What have you put your energy into when you are creating something? Or because 3 is the number of creativity too. What is that creative energy? Because the wands are symbolizing energy. What have you been creating, basically? What have you been putting your energy into? And I love that this one is kind of like that mirror on the wall, and it kind of shows you what you have been putting your energy to. Whereas this one, I'm not so crazy about the eye, honestly, but it's kind of that same thing. It's kind of like that mirror, or your eye staring back at you with the rainbow. And I kind of did a spoiler alert. I'll be doing a spoiler alert right here if you were watching or following any of my court videos, which I'm going to start picking back up again, but I stopped because of my daughter's going back in and out of the hospital. But this is spoiler alert, this is my self card. I view myself as a page of wands, and I do have links or videos somewhere that that I talk about the page of wands and what that energy means to be page of wands, as when you're talking about people cards. I don't always associate court cards as people cards, but when I do associate court cards with people cards, this is the card that I associate for myself as a page of wands is me. And another one that I look for too is the Knight of Wands, the action of action. I do this more for clients than rather myself, but damn, the Lumina Tarot. I love the change that she's made from the first edition to the second edition, I think this is. And this was my least favorite card in the Lumina Tarot in the first edition, but it became my favorite card as soon as she changed it, which I really adore. I really love his cloak and the fact that he's not a pop god. That was one thing that I was like, ugh. when I first saw the Lumina Tarot, I was like, ugh, I'm not digging the pop god look. And I really do enjoy everything that Kim Krans did for the court cards. It's wonderful to use snakes, swans, deer, and what was the other one? Owls. I really love it. It's so witty. Beautiful. Witty. Haha. Another one that I look for is the Two of Swords. And I just painted my Two of Swords for the J Shadows Tarot if you want to look on it at Instagram. I decided to go with a more Marseille look. And I'll talk about that in a later video as well. But Two of Swords is really like that balance in communication, and that balance in thought, and balance in what you are doing too. And so that's also something that I look for when I do client readings or readings for myself. So I'm going to try to pick up the pace because my voice is starting to go. Alright, another one that I have is the Six of Swords. Swords is the suit of communication and thought, and 6 is the number of harmony. But when you see the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's kind of like that person traveling in the boat, going towards that higher self or that higher ascension of oneself. And honestly, I don't mind both of these images, but I'm not so crazy about the Wild Unknown so much, believe it or not, with the rainbow. And I kind of like him a lot better, even though people are not getting the Six of Swords in this. I really like it. And I just think it's like that higher communication, higher thought. What are you traveling towards to in your communications and thoughts, and what are you sending to, basically? And that's essentially what I think of the Six of Swords. Knight of Swords, and is also another personal card that I really, really enjoy working with, is action of communication, and it's something I do look for in clients, more for what are you actively communicating about in your life, what are you being bold and upfront about. And as far as personal reasons why I like this card so much is because when I was doing Guided Meditations with the Mary L. Tarot way back when, I met the energy of the Knight of Swords through a guided meditation for myself, and I got really well acquainted with the Knight of Swords on a very intimate and very spiritual level, and that's another reason why I look for this card. I'm just trying to pick up the pace. I'm sorry, everyone. Two of Pentacles is one I think a lot of people look forward to, and when they're talking about cards too. I really love the Marseille style in this one, where she got the dandelion and the vines wrapping around it. And of course, this is a very beautiful image of the wild unknown. And it's balancing your physical world and learning how to balance that physical world around you. And that's what I really love about this card and why I look for this card in client readings as well as readings for myself. Are you balancing that physical world around you? All right, and this ultimate card of craftsmanship and creativity is the Eight of Coins. And when I want to see if I was going to do a card draw for myself, like a daily draw for myself, and I wanted to find what my energy is going to be for the day, and if I usually pull the Three of Pentacles or the Eight of Pentacles, I'm feeling pretty damn good about doing art today, basically. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do some arting today, for sure. And I love the spider being the craftsman, and a lot of decks use the spider web like this for their Eight of Pentacles. But I think the Wild Unknown takes one for the team. And I really, I don't know where she was going for this one, honestly, but that's okay. I like the Pippi style too. Sometimes just a Pippi representation of a card is not too bad. Not so bad. Oh, okay, and the last card that I'm going to show for today is going to be the Knight of Pentacles, because this is a card that when I do for my husband, or look for when I am reading about myself and my husband, this is the card that I kind of gravitate to, which is the Knight of Pentacles. I really love the deer. I'm not so crazy about this one, but I really love bears, and bears are my soul animal. So yeah, those are just some of the cards. That's not all the cards that I look for, but it's some of the cards that I look for when I'm looking to buy a tarot deck, and some of my explanations why I look for some of those cards in the tarot deck. I really want to see this hashtag floating around. I would love to be watching everybody else doing it, and I would love to know what the not decks, but cards would make you buy a tarot deck or not buy a tarot deck. And that's really the whole intention of this hashtag, is because I haven't seen one floating around yet about it. So I challenge you, and I'll be watching. I love you all. Kisses, hugs.